Hello, boys and girls. How are you doing? Welcome back to our summer course. Today we're gonna deal with multiplication and use a strategy for multiplication tables in a very easy way. Let's start. The answer for the last riddle was 9. In this video, we're gonna take a look at how we create the fastest, easiest, and most efficient way for students to learn their multiplication tables. So write off from 1 times 1 to 12 times 12. That's a total of 144 multiplication tables. That's a whole lot of things to remember. However, we created a method where if you just know 6 rules, yes, just 6 rules, you can go from 144 down to only 24 remaining. Yeah, that's right. How is that possible? Well, let's take a look. So we begin with the easiest multiplication rule to remember, which is multiplying anything times the number 1. Anything times the number 1 is that number. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, 3 times 1 is 3, and so on. Well, you also know the reverse. You also know 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 1 times 4. So, from that one simple rule, you actually know 23 math facts. Next rule is the multiplying times 10. When it comes to the rule of multiplying times 10, 0 is the hero. You take the number that you start with and you add a 0. 2 times 10 is a 2, then add a 0. 3 times 10 is a 3, then add a 0, and so on. You also know the reverse. You also know 10 times 2, 10 times 3, 10 times 4. So now from those two simple rules you have learned 44 multiplication tables, and now you have 100 remaining. Here is the third easiest rule, multiplying times 11. Times a single digit. That digit just duplicates itself. What does that mean? It means 2 times 11 is 22, 3 times 11 is 33, 4 times 11 is 44, 5 times 11 is 55, and so on. You also know the reverse, 11 times 1, 11 times 2, 11 times 3. From these three simple rules, just these simple rules, you actually learn 60 multiplication tables, and you have only 84 remaining. And here is the easiest rule, is multiplying anything times the number 2. There are two things that you can do there. First thing is you can double the number because 2 times 2 is the same thing as 2 plus 2. 3 times 2 is the same thing as 3 plus 3, and so on. Well, if you forget some of your basic addition, there is a backup method. That is the skip counting method. So if you take 9 times 2 or 2 times 9, what you do is skip counting by 2's 9 times. So you go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and then you stop at 18. Well, guess what? 4 rules, just 4 rules. You know now 77 math multiplication tables, and you only have 67 remaining. It gets better, so for rule 5, you're gonna look at the number 5, and once again, you're going to use skip counting because 5 is one of the easiest number to skip counting by. So when you have 7 times 5, that just means you're going to count by 5 7 times. So 7 times 5 just means you go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and on the 7th one you stop at 35. Pretty simple, right? Well, now that you know 1 times 5 all the way to 12 times 5, that means you also know 5 times 1 all the way to 5 times 12. So in total you know 92 multiplication facts from just 5 rules, and there is only 52 remaining. So now for our last rule, which is the rule of 9. When you multiply a number times 9, such as 2, you take that first number 2 and you take 1 less. So 1 less than 2 is 1, then you say 1 plus what number equals 9? Well, 1 plus 8 equals 9, so 8 becomes your second number. So the answer is 18. Or when you have 3 times 9, 1 less than 3 is 2, then you just say 2 plus what number equals 9? It's 7, so 27. And so on 4 times 9, 1 less than 4 is 3. 3 plus what number is 9 is 6. So your answer is 36. You can do that all the way up to 9 times 9 to get 81. So now that you know the answer to 2 times 9 to 9 times 9, you also know the reverse. You know 9 times 2 to 9 times 8. So after just learning 6 rules, you now know 103 multiplication facts. That only leaves 41 remaining. Now those remaining 41, once we remove the duplicate and multiplying by 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 12, we only have 24 facts remaining, and we will deal with them in the next week. The riddle of the week. Congratulations for the third stage. Here is our riddle. A book costs $1 plus half its price. How much does it cost? Think double before you write. See you next week. Bye bye.